folks. Today we are going to take a look at the newest expansion for Marvel Legendary, a deck building game. Actually a little mini expansion this time as opposed to Dark City. This is the Fantastic Four. Of course it adds everyone's favorite or not so favorite heroes finally to the Marvel deck building game. Not only does it add the Fantastic Four, but it also adds the Silver Surfer as a playable hero, and it has two new masterminds, Galactus, of course, and Mole Man, of course? Okay, sure, why not? He's a Fantastic Four villain. I was actually hoping there'd be a new Doctor Doom, since the original Doctor Doom is kind of a punk, but what are you going to do? So, if you're not familiar with Marvel Legendary, I've done a review of it and its first expansion, Dark City. Excellent game, excellent semi-cooperative deck building board game where you're drafting Marvel heroes in order to defeat a mastermind and his scheme. And the Fantastic Four expansion, aside from being specifically focused on the Fantastic Four segment of the Marvel Universe, it just adds more of the same. You got more heroes, more masterminds, more schemes, more, and that's all that us Legendary fans really want after all. But why don't we take a more in-depth look at the Fantastic Four expansion so that you can know whether you should buy it for your set of Marvel Legendary. Alright folks, we're going to look at Fantastic Four, the next little mini expansion for Legendary, and I'm just going to go rapid fire through all the new cards that are in here. First, the heroes, and they need little introduction, but let's go in alphabetical order anyways. First, we have the Human Torch, Johnny Storm. He's got a lot of power combat cards, of course, and he's actually got a lot of cards that give you wounds, but then he's also got cards that will let you get rid of wounds as well. Let's go ahead and find his most powerful ultimate card, hopefully. Yes. Now, he's got 6 or more power. Basically, if you've played another Fantastic Four villain, which is the new symbol for this set, you're going to get +1 combat for each city space that contains a villain. That's actually a pretty cool card. Then we're going to go straight on to the Invisible Woman. She's got a lot of really neat cards. Now, since we're looking at this card, let's go ahead and talk about a new hero ability that's in this set called Focus. Now, the way Focus works is that Focus is always going to have the word, a number, and then recruitment. Focus that I've always seen is always about recruitment. And so long as you've played this card for the rest of the turn, as long as it's still your turn, you're going to be able to use this Focus ability. And essentially, you're going to be able to trade in whatever that number of recruitment points are for a special ability. In this particular case, for her Disappearing Act card, you can trade in 2 recruitment points at any time to KO a card from your hand or discard pile. You can do that as many times as you have the recruitment to pay for until the end of your turn, which is kind of a neat ability and very combo ready. And let's go ahead and she's got a lot of different kinds of focus cards, and she's got a very cool ultimate card that I like a lot. The Invisible Barrier is going to give you 5 combat power, and if an ambush effect would occur, you can reveal this card and draw 2 cards instead. Really, really cool. I love, like I said, my favorite card from Dark City was the Iceman card that had kind of the same effect where you could just reveal it to avoid a negative ability and still get a lot of power. So I like that a lot. And from the Invisible Woman, let's go to her husband. Are they still husband and wife in the comic? I don't know. I'm so behind on that stuff. We have Mr. Fantastic's cards. I don't know in what particular case he would ever fight the Juggernaut, but let's go with it. He's got this cool card, which just lets you draw 2 cards. I kind of like that, actually. If you can fill your deck with those, that's awesome. Yeah, I think his cards deserve special attention because he's got some cool ones. One Gigantic Hands. Please save your jokes. If you've played a Fantastic Four hero already, you get +1 combat for each card in your hands. Try comboing those to great effects. And he's got focus cards as well. His focus ability on this card actually lets you stick a card. You can draw when you draw a new card of hands at the end of your turn, you draw an extra card. And because that can be done multiple times, you can set yourself up for an awesome turn if you don't feel like recruiting using recruitment stuff for better stuff that turn. And his ultimate card is the Ultimate Nullifier, of course. Please, someone explain to me what that thing is. But anyways, you get 4 combat, but if an enemy you fight this turn would have a fight effect, you can cancel that effect instead. And another focus ability, you can focus 1 recruitment and get 1 combat usable only against a mastermind. But when you see the masterminds for this set, you're going to be happy that you can do that. Let's go on to, hey, wait a minute, he's not a Fantastic Four member. The Silver Surfer, because why not? He doesn't even have a faction. He don't need no faction. He's got a lot of focus cards that do a lot of stuff. So, for instance, you can focus 9 recruitment points to get plus 9 power. You can do that as many times per turn as you want, assuming you can get 18 or 27 recruitment points or more. Focus 6 recruitment points to defeat a villain of 5 or 6 combat strength. I found this to be not all that useful, to be honest with you. Only in very particular situations. But this is just ridiculous. Focus 2 to draw a card. I'll let your mind wander as to what you could possibly do with that when you get your engine going. His ultimate ability, together with that card, double all the recruitment you have. Oh yeah. Anyways, that's the Silver Surfer. We have one last character to talk about. The Thing is always last. I'm sorry, Thing. You're just not all that interesting of a hero. The Knuckle Sandwich, focus 3, you get plus 2 combat. But in addition to the 3 recruitment, which is cool, so if you really need the combat and you have no other recruitment, use his recruitment to make it happen. Why not? What's his ultimate ability? His ultimate ability is really cool. Notice that almost all of his cards, except for that one, have the green fist symbol. And his ultimate card, 5 combat, and if you played another fist hero, you actually get plus 3 combat for each other fist card you played this turn. Ridiculously cool. That's all the heroes. Let's go ahead and move right on to the masterminds, because why not? They're the best. Galactus, of course, Galactus. 20 power. Well, what are you to do? Well, the villains, some of the villains, have a new type of ability as well called Cosmic Threat. Now, Cosmic Threat means that normally for the villains that are in this set, it'll only have one of these symbols. In the case of Galactus, if you've got a card with basically any of the identification symbols that are listed here, which is basically all of them in the game, choose one of those symbols, just one of them. For every instance of that symbol in your hands that you reveal, you're going to reduce his power by 3. That's the static number for Cosmic Threat. Every card revealed of that symbol reduces it by 3. So that's how you're actually going to be able to take him out. But much like Apocalypse from the Dark City set, he has his own sort of win condition in addition to the scheme. Whenever a Master Strike is drawn, you have to actually destroy a city space closest to Galactus. Any villain there escapes, and then you just put the Master Strike there to block off the street. Now, what this obviously means in the short term is that villains are going to be escaping much faster, but if every part of the city is destroyed, Galactus wins the game, regardless of how the scheme has progressed. And he's got all of his tactic cards, of course. You're not going to get off that easy. You still have to take out 4 tactics cards. The other mastermind is the Mole Man, and I guess he's interesting. Why not? Original Fantastic Four villain. I don't really get it, but he's okay. But 7 combat, he gets plus 1 for each Subterranea villain that has escaped. That's a different type of villain group that he leads. Whenever a Master Strike is drawn, all Subterranea villains escape. So he will get stronger and stronger. I could actually foresee a scenario where he can get very tough. That did actually happen in a solo game that I played, but still nowhere near as tough as Galactus. But since we're talking about schemes, let's talk about schemes. You've got 4 new ones in this set. Invincible Force Field is really, really annoying. Every time a twist is drawn, you're going to put it next to the villain or the mastermind. And basically that's going to essentially mean that you have to spend either a recruitment or a combat in addition to whatever you're spending for every one of the twists or force fields that are up against the mastermind. And if you go through all 7 twists, you lose. Bathe the Earth in Cosmic Rays is kind of interesting because essentially what it's going to do is every time a twist is drawn, you have to KO one of the non-gray heroes from your hand and then choose a hero from the headquarters with the same or lower cost and put that into your hand. So you're not actually going to lose a hero. In fact, you might actually get a hero you want more, but if 6 non-gray heroes get KO'd, you lose the game. So that's really hard. Flood the planet with melted glaciers. You stack all the twists that you draw next to the scheme as rising waters. Is this Forbidden Island? Then you KO each hero from the headquarters whose cost is less than or equal to the number of rising waters cards. If you get to 20 non-gray heroes that are KO'd, you lose. We lost horribly to that scheme. Pull reality into the negative zone. When scheme twists 2, 4, and 6 are drawn, until the next twist, enemies cost recruitment to fight, and heroes cost combat to recruit. The reason doesn't sound that bad, and probably is the easiest scheme, but the reason that can be bad is because normally you want to get rid of your recruitment point cards near the middle to 3/4 mark of the game so you can start getting a lot of power to take out the mastermind. So when this flips around, that can essentially stall everyone's decks. And the last thing we're going to look at are the villain. I should mention that there are no henchmen in this new expansion because, well, I guess it doesn't really need them. I would probably suggest the Doombot Legion if you really want to make it thematic and just say that Dr. Doom is out on siesta. First, you've got the Heralds of Galactus, and they're all really tough. And they all have the same Cosmic Threat ability. Well, not the same, but they all have a different symbol associated with them. Remember, for Cosmic Threat, if you reveal cards of that particular symbol, each card you reveal is going to give -3 combat to this villain, so that makes them much easier to defeat. All those kind of different ones. The one that's probably most interesting to me is Stardust, because he's got that little Sonic symbol. You can choose one of your, I'm not sure if that's Sonic symbol or not, but you can choose one of your heroes with that symbol and draw a new hand. When you draw a new hand of cards at the end of the turn, you can add that hero to your hand as the 7th card. So that's a really good effect. And then you've got the Mole Man's villains, who are the Subterranea. They have a new special ability called Burrow, which is really kind of dumb and kind of annoying, but not in really like a really difficult way. Basically, if a villain with Burrow is not in the streets of the city, the actual street space, and you defeat them, you don't defeat them, and the villain moves to the streets. If a villain's already there, that villain escapes, or maybe it gets pushed down. I can't actually remember, but it could just be kind of annoying, but not all that tough. If the villain already has bystanders when you foe defeat them the first time, then those bystanders are lost. But it's just kind of annoying. They're not all that tough. The highest combat is only 7. They're not anywhere near as tough as the Heralds of Galactus. But basically, that's all that's in the new Fantastic Four expansion. Here's the weird thing about the Fantastic Four expansion. Now, I mentioned that the Dark City expansion for Legendary was almost essential. I mean, that was a big expansion. Tons of cards got added to the set. Lots and lots and lots of replayability value. And I actually think that's what's going to hurt the chances of the Fantastic Four expansion getting bought by every single Legendary owner. Don't get me wrong. Legendary and all of its expansions sell like hotcakes, and the Fantastic Four expansion will be no exception. But I can actually envision a scenario where people are still working their way through all the stuff that came in Dark City. And there was a lot of stuff. And they're going to look at the Fantastic Four expansion and think, yeah, I ain't got to buy that right away. I'll just hold off on that. Because this is just a mini expansion. I would think that the people who really love the Fantastic Four in particular will have already had this pre-ordered and buy it now. Now, I got it because I just love Legendary. I'm going to buy everything that comes out for this game, especially the new, don't even get me started on the new stuff that's coming out for like Alien Encounters. I don't even know. But anyways, I digress. Just a fantastic game, and the Fantastic Four expansion just adds more of what I love. Now, Galactus, the Mastermind, is ridiculously hard. And that's great. The new Cosmic Threat thing that he and his villain group, the Heralds of Galactus, have, it's a little weird. And it actually, you really need to look over, it's not like there's a lot of rules that come with this expansion, but you really got to look over that paragraph regarding Cosmic Threat a couple times to see how it's worded. But it is a cool idea. I mean, essentially it's an artificial way for the Mastermind to have a power of 20. Because you're dealing with here Mastermind and a villain who are essentially world destroyers, and the Fantastic Four have never been the most powerful heroes in the Marvel Universe. They were more about just working together as a team and being super, super, super duper smart, or at least, Reed Richards was. Anyways. So that's what the Cosmic Threat represents, is just them being really smart in order to overcome Galactus and his heralds. So it kind of feels artificial, but then again, that goes back to this game having a really great theme, which I really like. All the artwork and the components are all great in this game. Can't complain about that. The new hero abilities, I actually thought that the new focus ability was kind of, whatever. Most of the cards that have focus, I actually found were useless. The Thing has a card that lets you focus to move villains around the street, which when you need it, it can be very, very useful. When you don't, you're going to be wishing you had a way to get more power from that card or recruitment. other cards like being able, focusing a lot in order to just get a little bit more power. Again, useful in very specific situations, not all around versatile like the actual versatile ability. Things like that. So I'm not as keen on some of the special abilities. But then again, that's kind of the weird unbalanced thing. Other focus abilities in the deck like Focus 2, draw a card. Really, really great. That's really combo-rific and kind of broken. If you use it right. So I don't know how I feel about all of that. And it would go back again to some, like, Reed Richards cards don't feel all that thematic to him compared to some of the other heroes. Great artwork, though. So it's kind of an odd thing, whereas I think that the thing, and the Invisible Woman, I like her cards a lot, especially her ultimate card. Really, what you always want to do when you get a new set of a new expansion for Legendaries, look at the ultimate cards, because those are, of course, the most interesting ones. And there are some interesting ones in here, especially the Invisible Woman's, being able to reveal it to avoid an ambush and get to draw cards. Really, really great. So I like it. I mean, it's another good expansion. It's non-essential the way that Dark City is, but then again, if you're watching this and you've already got the base set and Dark City, I can't tell you not to get it. It's just great. It's cheap, and it gives you more of what we all already love about the game. So I hope you liked Fantastic Four and Silver Surfer and all the villains. Oh, wait, let me comment on Mole Man. Stupid. I just hate Mole Man as a character. I mean, I understand why they had to put him in there because he's like the first Fantastic Four villain, but whatever. I mean, it's just lame. The Burrow ability is stupid. I'm not a big fan of that. Okay, fine. It feels very thematic, and sure, they had to throw something in there, but why not another Doctor Doom? Give us a new Doctor Doom. Oh, whatever. Anyways, you still need to get this expansion. It's very good. So, my name is Nick. This has been Board Game Brawl, looking at the Fantastic Four expansion for Legendary. And I'm reminding you to get out there and game every day in every way. Take care.